Good evening, and the council is reconvening into open session. We met in closed session this evening, and we have come back in. Mr. City Attorney, would you like to report us out of closed session?
I would be pleased to do so. Madam Mayor, members of the council, ladies and gentlemen, and any who are joining us virtually tonight for the city council meeting. City council met in closed session to meet and confer regarding 3 items on its agenda. The city council met and conferred in closed session regarding government or pursuant to government code section 54957 to discuss the process to be utilized in evaluating the positions of city manager and city attorney. The council gave the city manager and his staff direction to reach out to find a professional evaluator that can assist the council in conducting that annual performance evaluation, and designated Councilmember Thompson to be the council liaison in that process. City council also met in closed session pursuant to government code section 54956.8. Talk about the possible purchase and acquisition of 2 properties, one at 1133 South Grand Avenue, the other at 1839 Galveston LLC, and gave city staff and the city attorney's office direction. And finally, the city council met in closed session regarding negotiations with the Glendora Police Officers Association. Council reviewed the initial proposal for a new collective bargaining agreement offered by the Police Officers Association and gave the city manager and his staff further negotiating authority. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. With that, we will begin our regular scheduled meeting for this evening. And to start things off, Father Ron Clark of St. Dorothy Catholic Church will lead us in the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, which we are honored tonight will be led by Azusa Mayor Robert Gonzalez. Father.
Mayor, members of the council, and all present here, let us continue in prayer. Lord God and Father of all, you have created humanity in your image, entrusting to us dominion over all things. In community comes responsibility for the good of your creation. It has been shared that responsible citizenship is a virtue, and participation in political life is a moral obligation. We thank you for the many gifts that you have bestowed upon this city throughout the last 111 years. We ask that you also gift us with wisdom, that we may recognize that all things belong to you, and that as stewards of your creation, we are called to promote that which brings forth your honor and that which is good. Please bless these, our elected leaders, that they all they propose and act and enforce may honor the dignity of your children who reside in this community. May they reflect your integrity, truth, and compassion, not only at this meeting, but throughout their continued service to Glendora. We ask this in all things in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Please put your hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Father Clark, and thank you, Mayor Gonzalez. That takes us to our student reports. And tonight it is so exciting that we have our students with us in person. I think this is the first meeting that they've been able to join us and come out of the virtual world. So we're very excited. Tonight from Glendora High School, Nadia Bashir, welcome.
Good evening, Mayor Davis and esteemed City Council members. Tonight, I will be giving a student board report on the behalf of Glendora High School. On Friday, April 8th, GHS hosted Action for the first time in 2 years. Leading up to the day, each grade had participated in creating posters and the mural to decorate the gym and participated in the class penny wars competition, where students would donate pennies to their own class buckets and put all other currency in other class buckets to earn and deduct points. GHS students raised a total of $2,475, and ASB is donating this money to the Save the Children Ukraine Fund, as well as matching the total money raised for senior scholarships. Students were thrilled to have an in-person action event once again with 1,400 shirts sold and a gym full of energized cheers and class competition. Prom took place last Saturday with a Casino Nights theme at the Santa Anita Racetrack featuring dancing, a light dinner, photo opportunities, pool tables, casino-themed activities, and more. Students were super excited to have this fun event back with a record-breaking 798 tickets sold. Congratulations to the Crown Prom royalty, Chandler Jackson, as well as Corey Graham as Queen. The GHS track and field team recently competed at the Arcadia Invitational. Congratulations to Maya Shinnick for winning the girls 400 dash and to Kennedy Johnson for taking 4th place overall at the girls Invitational triple jump. Glendora show choirs competed at the Burroughs competition last Saturday, wrapping up their competition season. Congratulations to Silhouettes and Royal Stewards for winning several 1st and 2nd place awards, as well as best musicianship and showmanship at several competitions. And Royal Stewards members look forward to performing at the Mayor's Breakfast tomorrow. Band and pageantry recently competed at the Highland Games Pipe Band competition in Las Vegas over the weekend and took 1st place. Play auditions for Almost Maine, a play all about love, have taken place, and we're looking forward to upcoming rehearsals and performances. The Palomares Outstanding Seniors Banquet took place on April 14th. Congratulations to Faith Emke, Braden Bruss, Haley Ganinos, Noah Smith, and John Sistiaga for being recognized for their academic and athletic achievements. The NAMI Bloom event also took place on April 14th that featured a student art exhibit, painting rocks, a Kona ice truck, yoga, and other wellness activities to relax and rejuvenate before AP testing at the end of the year. For Earth Day on April 22nd, ASB hosted a campus cleanup during lunch where Tartans came together to make our campus more beautiful. And finally, ASB executive class officer elections finished up a couple weeks ago, and we're looking forward to see what our new class officers accomplish this year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And from Charter Oak High School, Paula Tripathi, welcome.
Good evening. My name is Pug Tripathi, and I'm the student representative for Charter Oak High School. And the following is my report from the month of April. On April 15th, Charter Oak hosted a Chaos Night Rally in the gym where we celebrated our spring sports. The theme for this night rally was Avatar: The Last Airbender. All grade classes participated in cheers, performances, games, and competitions to encourage high school spirit. Charter Oak Theater is presenting Legally Blonde, the musical, at the HK Baird Theater. First of the shows have already been sold out and have been a success. Tickets are still available on their website for April 28th and 30th. Charter Oak hosted prom on April 23rd. The formal dance was located in Newport Beach and the theme was Secrets of the Sea. Prom was a huge success and it was a great way for the class of 2022 to enjoy their last high school dance. Charter Oak High School and Royal Middle School Choir are presenting their spring concert, Be Our Guest, on May 13th and 14th. The tickets are now on sale on their website. And coming up in the month of May, we have Senior Awards Night on May 24th to celebrate senior class achievements. And following that event on May 27th, we have our graduation ceremony. The same day, we also have Grand Night at Six Flags for the seniors to have a fun way to enjoy their graduation celebration. Thank you.
Thank you. And from St. Lucie Priory High School, Olivia Risk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The month of April on our campus began with our tri-school prom at the House of Blues on April 3rd. Juniors and seniors danced the night away with their friends, and one of our princesses, Sam Arenas, was even crowned prom queen. This year's yearbook theme was also announced on Monday, April 4th. The theme is Our Story, and the yearbook staff drew inspiration from the 4 famous Toy Story films by Walt Disney Pictures. Our current ASB held a class office election meeting for all students interested in running for a position in their class office. Candidate speeches are due tomorrow, and elections will be on May 4th. Our school-wide Lenten project was dedicated to the people of Ukraine, who now are especially in a time of need. The St. Lucie's community was asked to make monetary donations, which were donated to Save the Children's Ukraine Emergency Fund. They provide shelter, nutritious food, blankets, and other essential items to children and families affected by the recent disturbing events. Our annual Bash celebration on April 9th was a huge success. St. Lucie's parents spent their wonderful evening on our campus with dinner, dancing, and auction fun. A big thank you to all of the major sponsors, staff, and parent and student volunteers who made this event possible. On April 11th, 5 of our seniors were awarded the Baseline League Outstanding Senior Award. We are so incredibly proud of all of their hard work and wish them the best in their future endeavors. The following Wednesday, April 13th, was our school-wide Holy Week Mass. The theme was stewardship, and it was the best way to spend the final day on our campus before going on spring break. Our very own athletic director, Mr. Fahey, was awarded the Norm Mackenzie Award. This award is given by the California State Athletic Directors Association, CSADA, and presented to Mr. Fahey at the CSADA conference held in San Diego on April 21st. We are truly so grateful to Mr. Fahey for his continued dedication and hard work for our athletic program. The 2022 St. Lucy's Musical, Reel to Reel, a red carpet venue, was also announced last week. Our cast has been hard at work and can't wait to perform for you on April 28th, 29th, and 30th in our amphitheater. Tickets can be purchased through our website. Today was our last Regent Rory Rally. Students wore their class colors and competed in different events. As you might be able to tell from my voice, my junior class and I won first place, the first time since coming back onto campus. We truly cheered and competed our hearts out. Thank you.
Thank you and congratulations. All right, that takes us to reordering of or additions to the agenda. Does anyone wish to reorder or make any additions? Okay, seeing none, then that takes us to public comment. At this time, individuals wishing to speak during public comment, if you haven't already done so, please fill out one of the speaker cards and give that to the Deputy City Clerk. You will have 3 minutes to speak and invite you to address your comments to the council on anything on the agenda or off the agenda. Tonight, our first speaker, Mr. Joe Cena.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor, City Council, City staff, for allowing me to speak this evening. My name is Joe Cena, President and CEO of the Glendora Chamber of Commerce, and I thought I'd come join you again tonight. I missed you from seeing you last night, and then I'll see you tomorrow morning. So, but first I want to thank you for the housing presentation you held last night with the Planning Commission and city staff. I know that's a lot of work, and there's still a lot of work to do, and everything was crystal clear. I had no questions, and you did a great job. I mean, seriously, you did a great job. I just wanted to give a few events that are coming up. Some of you do know of them. We have a ribbon cutting this Friday at Montage Paint down on Route 66 in Grand. It's a paint store next to One West Bank at 2:30. So if you want to end your Friday with a ribbon cutting and some refreshments, please join us. Then looking in May, our first Friday of the month on the 6th, we'll have our business buzz at Kaleo Real Estate in the Village here. We'll probably talk about real estate and then other stuff when we get together, right? And then on May 11th at 2 p.m., we're going to have the 20th anniversary ribbon cutting for Foothill Fitness Equipment and Repair. They're down on Grand near Arrow Highway. And so if you want to join us for that, that is at 2. And then on the 12th, the next day, we're having our lunch net at Round Table Pizza. And Glendora PD's very own Amin Kadami will be our Kadami, sorry, I think that's how I said it, will be our presenter to talk about the PD and the reserve program. Try to promote it, get more information out there to get people interested. Then also that evening at 6:30, we're going to have the Glendora State of the Schools. It is a webinar again this year. We'll have a live one next year. But if you want to register for that, go to glendorastateoftheschools.com and to hear from both of our districts and our college. And then finally, Cuisines of the Foothills Restaurant Week is back. It is going to be a restaurant week again. May 16th through the 22nd. If you go to cuisinesofthefoothills.com, you can get more details on what's going on. There is a theme again, putting on the Ritz. So we're having a special event on the 19th. It's going to be a speakeasy. I'm not going to tell you where it is because speakeasy. But if you go to cuisines@thefoothill.com, you'll get the information. It is at 6:30 on the 19th. So in closing, I thank you and I invite you, city staff, and the general public to all of our events because the businesses really love to see you there. So thank you for your support.
Thank you, Mr. Sina. Next, I'd like to call Kamal Stefan.
Good evening, City Council, City Manager, Attorney. I'm bringing the same issue which I brought it back before a year ago regarding the Gladstone Park. And all of you are aware where we put a flyer awareness of the coyotes. And then the city workers, they came and they destroyed those flyers. They put in the trash bin without telling us why. They said that was the order from the city. I came here to complain, and I believe either you or you said that this is a public park, not a private park, which I agree with you. However, the park, there is a lot of activities going on, include dog training. For each dog, they are charging $2,000 to $3,000 annually. And when I asked the lady, are you approved by the city or by the council? She said, no, we are monitoring 4 parks in Glendora. Every week, one of the park. The second thing is that they are doing soccer training, which about more than 100 kids on the field, both sides. You cannot park, you cannot walk. And again, I approached them yesterday. They charge for each kid $35, and it goes session on session. Then I told them that there is a banner where it says there is a league. They said that has nothing to do with us. That's a league for the city, which has been approved by the city, and it goes to the school field, and they are registered. We have nothing to do with that. So my question is that fair when you told me that this is a public? And I called 2 city council, telling them that's what's going on. I got a promise by one of the city council that he was going to talk with the director of the park, and nothing has been done. And the second city council, he told me to bring my blanket to put it on the ground in order to prevent those people to play. Okay, so I leave it to you. Is it that because I'm my background or my accent or my name, you are doing this to me or humiliating me? And I don't know whether point of view from legality, I can do that. I can go for this because really I'm humiliated. So I want an answer from you today. What is going to happen? And if you want, let anybody, one of you, to come with me and I will show them. Go tomorrow to the Gladstone Park between 5:30 and 6. And you see, I guarantee you cannot find even a parking. You cannot park a space, both sides. Okay. And I know that you are spending a lot of money for changing the playground for the kids, which can be beautiful. And I know that you're spending a lot of money, but it is not for Glendora. Unfortunately, the people are coming. I don't care. I mean, they're American. They're coming from Covina, from Citrus, from San Dimas, even from Laverne. They are practicing in our court or in our park.
Thank you, Mr. Stefan.
Yeah,
Your time.
yeah, I'm done. But I just want to respond from you, please, if you can. Otherwise,
you.
I'll talk with the attorney.
Right, our next card is for Robert Gonzalez, our Water Quality Authority representative. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Robert Gonzalez, Mayor of the City of Azusa. Excuse my voice. I just wanted to formally introduce myself as your Water Quality Authority representative. You are a city with pumping rights, and I am your representative. So I'm making my way around to all the cities that have pumping rights that I'm representing, and I just made my way to Glendora. So I'm not doing it alphabetically, but I wanted to make my presence felt and put a face to the name. We talk often, but I just wanted to formally introduce myself as your representative. So hopefully down the road in the summer, the Water Quality Authority can do a presentation and tell you exactly what we do. So that's all I'm here for this evening. So thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate all that you do in our neighboring city and also with the Water Quality Authority. So thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
And do we have anyone who wishes to make a public comment via Zoom tonight?
It doesn't appear that we have any further requests to give public comment via the Zoom meeting at this point. No emails have been submitted either.
Okay, and we have received no other public comment cards?
No other public comment cards as
Okay.
well. Thank you.
Seeing none, then I will close public comment and bring it back to the council for reports and statements. Mr. Thompson.
Madam Mayor, thank you. And I just want to be real quick here. Tomorrow morning, you're hosting something that's very important, a breakfast, a mayor's prayer breakfast. And I have 4 tickets here that are paid for. So if anybody here or anybody that is tuned in wants these, find me and they are yours. And if anybody here needs one, then they're paid for. It's $25 and the breakfast is going to be great. The speaker is going to be superb and our mayor is in charge. So I just wanted to make that offer. As most of you know, there's a train coming to town. Now, I say that because city staff tells me at least once a week, they get calls wondering and questioning, is there a train coming to town? And I wanted to be clear that there is. It's going to be done about on January 3rd of 2025. But tonight, I'd like to share just a piece of what's been going on. So I don't know if Kathleen's going to cue that up. It's going to talk about grade crossings, the bridges, and the station. So sit back and I hope that you'll enjoy seeing what's being done.
Darn, it's not working.
I know there's a councilman that is holding his breath that he can't wait to see it.
Was Michael in here unattended for a while?
No, it's only going to be 7 minutes. So not even enough time to cook a bowl of popcorn, but it is going to be good. And if it's not there, then we'll move on. But the bridges are being built, as some of you have seen, and just be aware that on Lone Hill, there's going to be lanes crunched down or even lanes closed during the next few months. So be aware of that when you drive down there. Station is being built. The parking lot has been cleared and good stuff is going on there. And if it's not here, Michael, your prayer has been answered. Your priest is a very powerful man. I mean to tell you that. So yeah, apparently so. So
We'll play it tomorrow morning.
so
don't worry.
Madam Mayor, yeah, please. Oh, well, I guess, yeah. Yeah, you didn't pay Sam. Okay, so here's about some of the grade crossings. Well, Michael, maybe there's still hope. I don't know.
You're on my list, Sam.
Well, we probably should just move on. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Alawas.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to thank the public for coming last night. It was a very long meeting. For some of us, it was 5.5 hours for the 6th element, housing element. We got a lot accomplished. It's a mandate from the state. It was a bit painful at times, but we got a lot accomplished. And again, I want to thank those who did stick around. We lost quite a few towards the middle to the end, and I don't blame them. Mr. Aguirre, can I have you come up to the podium, please? I want to clear something up here. I have been working with Mr. Stefan for quite some time, as you know, about the parks. And you and I had spoken about the dog training, which I believe they have a permit for to do with the city. And he brought up the, I believe, 2 other items on here for some soccer training. And one of the one I didn't quite understand the league. Can you expand on that a little bit about what we're doing over there?
we don't have a league down there. We have classes that we run. Now we know that people come from all over and use our facilities. But we do run recreational classes out of Gladstone, being one of the only parks that we don't have an activity at. So that we do use a lot for all our classes. The dog rentals, they go through us to reserve an area. They use Finkbeiner Park, another park, and then Gladstone Park. And that, so we don't run a league. Now, there could be a league. We've seen before lights up and stuff where we don't have any of that. That is not, all our soccer leagues are at Pompey Park, school district facilities, and at Finkbeiner Park.
So if anyone wants to come and practice at one of our parks, what's the policy?
It's an open facility. If they're organized, they need to go through us because then they need insurance and that, and we have to see if there is availability.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Friedendahl.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and echoing last night's comments regarding the special meeting, I would like to thank the planning commissioners for participating. Certainly our community development department for the long time and hours they put in. And we all got briefed for several hours prior to that meeting. So it was a full day of lots of information, much to digest, no easy decisions. And the communication staff and IT staff for supporting that. Thank you so much. All for the California housing element, which nobody likes to think about, but it's there. So we need to do so. On a nice note, I'd like to announce that the Fairmount Pioneer Cemetery this year will indeed conduct their Memorial Day observance on Monday, the 30th of May at 11:30 in the morning. And we invite the entire community to come join us and share in that recognition of our veterans, first responders, active military, civic leaders, and anybody else we think we want to add to that too. So that'd be great. So I do invite us all to do that. And I will ask Kathleen, did you get the Gold Line presentation? Do you want to try that again? There you go.
Do you have any other announcements?
No, but while she's looking, I will remind the city, this is the third time the trains come to town in case we haven't remembered. So it really is. And I'm enjoying the architecture on the flyover bridges. I think that my initial comment a year or so ago that what it might look like has been proven wrong. It looks pretty nice. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And Mayor Pro Tem.
Sure, I'll go ahead. First, I want to hope everybody had a great Easter holiday. It's that time of year and it seems like a long time ago, but it was just last week. And then this past weekend, want to thank the city staff and everybody for working so hard on Earth Day. I understand we had a great turnout for that and a lot of community involvement. I also want to thank everybody that attended the meeting last night. You know, I heard from somebody that actually said, is that a normal meeting for you guys? Is it typically that tedious? And you're going, no, you know, there's a lot of work that went into that. I want to really appreciate staff. I know, you know, there's tough decisions need to be made, but the community involvement is what we need. And we continue to need feedback from the community as to what this city is going to look like moving forward. And then lastly, I'd just like to, again, remind everybody that we are in drought conditions. You know, there hasn't been a whole lot of restrictions put on yet, but they're being talked about on a regular basis. I will tell you at a meeting I was at the other day, the idea in Sacramento is being considered to eliminate watering of any of what they are calling non-essential turf, which basically means they're actually considering making it so that we can't water any grass that is not considered essential. So if we do our jobs, if we all work together to try to conserve as much as we can, we might be able to avoid some of these restrictions. And again, the reminder, what makes this drought a little bit more difficult than some of the ones that we've had in the past is that this one includes the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies are having in drought conditions as well. And so the water that is coming down from the Rockies into the Colorado River, of which we get some of our water from, has also been extremely restrictive. So that is all I have. Thank you.
So we all like to just see it, but we never see it from the vantage point that a drone shows it. So I thought it was pretty cool to see some of that stuff being built. It's going to be here for a long, long time. And so thank you for allowing us to be a part of that. And Kathleen, thank you for your third and fourth try in spite of what Michael says. So thank you.
She was determined.
She was.
I do have a couple questions, if I may.
ahead.
First off, let's check your expertise here. What is false work?
False work is, as I am told, is the ability for them to employ the real structure, and so they have a way to get up there and perform everything that they are doing.
Okay, so it's
That's what I'm
temporary,
told.
temporary structure.
Temporary structure, yes.
And then question I didn't really think about until now, and we've all driven by it hundreds of times. The old rail crossing at Route 66. It's a little deteriorated. Do we know who is responsible for maintenance of that? And would we possibly have the ability to, when we're going to have a brand new siding on the other side of that, and as you're driving east, we're still going to see that metal siding with the Pride of the Foothills, which we all really love, but it could use a touch up.
I think that BSNF owns that track and owns that bridge, and Adam is shaking yes, so I hope that he's affirming what I'm saying. That's what I have been told. Gary, I agree with you. I think a fresh coat of paint and everything would be nice, but I don't know. Adam is on the other side of the board that I'm on, the TAC board, and so I don't know if that's ever been.
We'll
talked
definitely
about.
ask to provide some clarity. I know that's been a topic of conversation off the top of my head. I cannot remember what the promise was, but there was a promise about that bridge.
Right, correct. And just so you'll know, so the columns down on, Lone Hill, those are 80 feet deep. You just think about that. They're 80 feet deep. The ones on Grand are 60 feet deep. So if there's an earthquake, that's the best place to be, because you will be very, very safe there. So that's just some of the stuff that's a part of that.
No, and that's an example of, we see what's above surface, but until you see that video and see all the drainage work underneath, the electrical work, all of that, you don't realize there's so much more to what you're looking at.
Right.
So,
Yeah, thank you.
so thank you. All right, that takes us to city manager and city attorney statements. Either of you have anything you want to report? Okay, thank you. Then we'll move on to special items. Tonight, we have two special items. The first is a proclamation recognizing May 1st through the 7th, 2022 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week. And tonight, Councilmember Friedendahl will be reading that proclamation, and receiving it will be Deputy City Clerk, Records Manager Elvia Dominguez, and Administrative Assistant Lorena Cordova. Mr. Friedendahl.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's my great pleasure to share this proclamation tonight. It's the City of Glendora, State of California. Whereas the office of the municipal clerk is one of the oldest among public servants, a time-honored and virtual part of local government throughout the world. And whereas the office of the municipal clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels. And whereas municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. They serve as the information center on functions for local government and their community. And whereas municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the professional municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, province, county, and international professional organizations. And now therefore, we the city of now wherefore we the city council of the city of Glendora do hereby proclaim the week of May 1 through May 7, 2022 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week in the city of Glendora, and further extend appreciation to the Glendora's Municipal Clerk Department for the exemplary dedication and virtual services they perform for our community. In witness thereof, the mayor has set her hand and caused the seal of the city of Glendora to be affixed this 26th day of April, 2022. Clerk Department, please come up.
Thank you, Mayor and Honorable Council, for this proclamation. Just wanted to, just a couple of comments on city clerks. That the city clerk's municipal clerk is the oldest public servant in local government. And it predates written word. That ancient Greece had city secretary who read official documents publicly, and they were the rememberers. So they had to memorize everything that was done and then recite it in public. And in ancient Greece, there was a secretary who read official documents publicly at the opening meeting. One of the first duties was to decree a curse upon anyone who sought to deceive the people. So some of us might have that in our blood, so fair warning. But we thank you very much on behalf of the city clerk's office, and also especially our media services and public information folks that are behind the scenes that help us so much, also Craig Gill and Greg Morton. So thank you so much on behalf of the city clerk's office.
All right, Kathleen, you can't get out of it.
Yeah.
Our second special item tonight is a proclamation recognizing May 1st through the 7th, 2022 as Correctional Officers Week. And accepting it tonight on behalf of the police department is Jailer Alfonso Magana. And Mr. Magana is an excellent representation of the diversified nature of the employees at Glendora PD. That during many of the years that he's also been a jailer, he was a reserve Marine and was deployed while also serving at Glendora PD. So we thank you duly for your service. And tonight, reading the proclamation will be Councilmember Alawas.
Thank you, Mayor. Whereas correctional officers have the difficult and often dangerous assignment of ensuring the custody, safety, and well-being of inmates in our nation's prisons and jails. And whereas correctional officers are committed to ensuring public safety by establishing and maintaining security within the facility and supervising prisoners' conduct and behavior to avoid conflicts and escapes. And whereas correctional officers strive to maintain a safe working environment in the jail facility, often in the face of challenges and dangers that threaten their own safety. And whereas it is fitting to recognize and honor our correctional officers for the important tasks they perform each day, for the many risks they take to provide for our security and for the sacrifices they make to protect the citizens of Glendora. A total of 1,221 prisoners were booked in 2021, averaging over 100 bookings per month. Now, therefore, we, the City Council of the City of Glendora, do hereby proclaim May 1 through May 7th, 2022 as Correctional Officers Week in the City of Glendora in recognition of the men and women who are vital components of the Glendora Police Department operation. In witness hereof, the mayor has set her hand and caused the seal of the City of Glendora to be affixed this 26th day of April, 2022.
I just want to thank the city council, the police department, the chief, and everyone here for this recognition. And on behalf of myself, Jailer Stern, Jailer Atkins, Jailer Allen, and Jailer Rodriguez, thank you for this recognition.
All right, that takes us to public hearings. Tonight, we have none. Next, consent calendar. Items 8 through 10 can be approved as one item unless anyone wishes to pull any items. Otherwise, I'm ready for a motion.
I move the consent calendar.
Second.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you. Councilmember. I'm going to do a roll call for the folks that are on Zoom so they can hear your vote. Councilmember Alawas.
Yes.
Councilmember, Thompson,
Yes.
Councilmember Friedendahl,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Boyer.
Yes.
And Mayor Davis.
yes,
And that carries 5-0. Thank you.
thank you. Takes us to member agenda items. Tonight, we have none. Unfinished business, we have none. That takes us to new business. Item 11. Update on boards, commissions, recruitment for terms expiring June 30th, 2022. And tonight, Deputy City Clerk Records Manager Dominguez will report.
I'm going to give my report from here. It's going to be hard for me to go back and forth. So thank you, Honorable Mayor and City Council. Tonight is just a quick briefing on the recruitment efforts for the 3 vacancies in the Board of Library Trustees. This year, we've got 3 vacancies that are up in office numbers 1, 4, and 5. There was a notice of vacancy that was published March 24th, 31st, and 7th. The close of the period was the 14th, and as of the 14th, we had 6 applications, 2 of which came from the current members whose term was going to be expiring that were eligible for reappointment. So 2 incumbents and 4 brand new applications. And so tonight we are here to request that you consider one of 4 options that are before you tonight, to either direct the city clerk to extend the application deadline to Thursday, May 2nd, to allow more applications, to either dispense the interviewing of incumbents and appoint the incumbents, and then schedule interviews for the new applicants in a special meeting on May 10th at 5 o'clock. To either schedule interviews for all applicants on May 10th at a special meeting starting at 4:30, or to give us further direction. So at this point, that concludes my report, and we'll just wait to see what council at this point would prefer out of the options that are provided.
Thank you. Councilmember Friedendahl.
Thank you very much. I recognize and thank the applicants who have shown an interest in wanting to be on this board, and thank them for doing so on time. So I think we should respect the fact that they met the prescribed deadline. I think in all fairness to all candidates, they should deserve equal time. So I would certainly lean toward option 3 of including all applicants in an interview, just to reintroduce and re-meet if necessary, and give that fair review of all. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Alawas.
As a point of order, can we make a motion tonight, since it's on the agenda, to appoint the 2 incumbents already and then schedule interviews?
You can do that. That is an option.
Okay, I'll let everyone else speak, but I'm in favor of option 2 and reappointing the 2. They're doing a fabulous job, and I think they should continue in that position.
Thank you. Councilmember Thompson.
I would agree with supporting option 3. I'm not opposed to what Michael just said, but I do think it's a healthy thing for us to interview them all, and they might have some questions of us that we don't know. So I would support moving for option 3.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem.
Well, good way to start out because I would prefer option two. I think both Brianna and Taako are doing a great job. And, that interview process, especially with people that we've been working with for a while and we know, and they're doing a good job, can become extremely awkward. So we've got 4 good candidates here for the open position, and I don't see a need to extend any time period at this point. So I would prefer option 2, but I'm actually okay with either as well. So Karen, it's up to you.
All right, then I will second Mr. Alawas's motion for option 2.
Writing that up and just
Is
putting.
that's including reappointing?
Yes, which I think that's what
That's how it
option
will be
2 is.
reflected to dispense
have
the
to add that.
interviewing, interviewing incumbents and schedule interviews for the new applicants at a special meeting to be held Tuesday, May 10th, starting at 5 o'clock. So I
Perfect.
will then open up for, I believe it was a motion by Councilmember Alawas, a second by Mayor Davis, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, and then if we can vote. I'm going to do a roll call vote at this time. Councilmember Alawas,
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson,
Yes.
Councilmember Friedendahl,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Boyer,
Yes.
and Mayor Davis.
Yes,
That passes 5-0. Thank you.
thank you. All right, that takes us to item 12, approve the transfer agreement with the Los Angeles County Flood Control District and award a contract services agreement to Craftwater Engineering, Inc. for design services for the Finkbeiner Park Stormwater Capture Project and the amount of $1,107,296,000 and a 10% contingency and the amount of $110,730,000 for a total not to exceed the amount of $1,218,26. And tonight, Management Analyst Ampeg will report. Welcome.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. My name is Andrea Ampeg, and tonight I'll be presenting on the Finkbeiner Park Stormwater Capture Project design. Next slide. In 2016, our Enhanced Watershed Management Group identified Finkbeiner Park as one of 7 locations within our watershed that was suitable for projects to help maximize water quality benefits and water supply. The watershed group performed feasibility studies on all 7 project locations to confirm that these projects would achieve compliance with the MS4 permit. This included an evaluation on existing site conditions, potential design components, and potential project schedule and cost. The intention of this preliminary research was to help facilitate future funding proposals. The primary objectives of this project are to improve water quality within our watershed and to maintain the public play space. Additionally, the project intends to restore and rehabilitate the park facilities and irrigation system and educate the public on water supply and demands. Finkbeiner Park sits at the bottom of the watershed, which makes it ideal for capturing stormwater runoff from the upstream storm drain system. The Finkbeiner project uses a pre-treatment system and infiltration chambers to improve the water quality of this runoff. Next slide. Water will be diverted from nearby storm drains and the Little Dalton Wash to the pre-treatment system. The pre-treatment system will treat any sediment, metal, trash, or debris that can compromise the performance of the infiltration facility or pollute downstream waters. The infiltration facility will be located under the baseball fields at the park. The result of this system provides water quality benefits that allow the city to achieve compliance with our enhanced watershed management plan and the MS4 permit. Next slide. The installation of the underground infiltration facility will require the removal and replacement of the baseball field area. The new baseball field will include turf grass, new field lights, and dugout area. To the north of the baseball fields, a green alley will be constructed with pervious pavement, bioswales, and native plants. These features encourage filtration into native soils and groundwater. Next slide. We applied for the Safe Clean Water Regional Grant funding in 2020. And this funding comes from the passage of Measure W, which was a special parcel tax implemented in LA County in 2018. Cities across LA County have the opportunity to compete for this grant every year. The city was awarded $2.5 million of Measure W funding, and the cost of the design provided by Craftwater Engineering is a not to exceed amount of around $1.1 million. The remaining grant funding can be used towards any county permit fees, project management, staff time, or future design efforts for the project. Additionally, if there is still funding left over at the end of the design phase, the city can utilize that funding towards design support during construction. The transfer agreement with the LA County Flood Control District must be approved in order to receive this funding. Funding will be dispersed within 45 days of the execution of this agreement. The estimated construction cost is around $21 million. The final cost of construction will be finalized after the design phase. And city staff will be actively searching for additional funding sources for the construction phase during and after the design phase. Pending funding, we are looking to begin construction in 2024. And that was it for my presentation. I wanted to add that we do have Oliver Galang from Craftwater Engineering here on Zoom, in case you had any specific questions for the design of the project.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is something that we have talked about for a long time, so it's exciting to see some drawings and see what it might actually be like. So
Yes.
very nice. Councilmember Alawas.
Thank you for your presentation. I guess I have a larger, broader question is the $21 million. What's the likelihood of getting that? And if we don't get it, basically, it doesn't go anywhere. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, we are gonna be looking for additional funding sources, like grants specific to parks. And we could also apply for the Safe Clean Water funding again in the future.
I know Allison will have a little more information on sort of the package and sort of the funding, and we're already starting on some of that now.
Well, the second part of that is let's say if we get the engineering done, is that good for a certain time frame? If it lapses over X amount of years, do we have to redo any of it?
I'll go ahead and answer these questions. So this is part of the regional funding, and I am part of the WASC, which is the Watershed Area Steering Committee, and we're the ones, along with other people that vote on these projects. And one of the things that we've been tasked with very recently is that all of these projects eventually will receive some kind of Measure W funding. We will, to complete the 21 million, like that's our next big task. Everybody is kind of scratching their head how we're going to do it, but that regional funding is like $18 to $19 million that we do over the course of the year. And one of the things we were willing to do was to have our funding for the design over 2 years. And so some of the 21 million, potentially it could be out like maybe 2 or 3 years, and then could be done over a couple of years. So the group is very strategically trying to make sure that we can utilize these funds. But in the meantime, we will have the design out and looking at other funds.
So will CEQA be part of this?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. That's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Councilmember Thompson.
Oh, thank you. And I support this. Just a bigger thing is, so what will be the effect of once you start to dig and create this? What will the effect be on the leagues and everything that happens there? Will all of the fields be gone for a period of time, and just kind of a global sense of how we're going to respond to that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if Oliver was able to chime in for this one. I think it's all depending on the design.
If you want me to respond to this. Yeah, so typically what happens is it is a large excavation occurs. And so what will happen is to install the we usually use precast reservoirs. They're precast concrete reservoirs that will be built, similar to the image that you saw on the presentation earlier. And it does require it that, it's excavation, and then they'll stockpile half of the field and then backfill and then expand on the other. So we've seen projects of this size. It takes anywhere between a year to 18 months for the excavation, installation, and for the project to be completed. So that's how long it would be. It would require for the fields to be out of service. We are looking into ways to optimize the design to see if we can, reduce the footprint or the impacts to maybe 2 out of 4 fields, because it is within those 4 fields, 4 baseball fields is where it's proposed currently.
Okay, great. Thank you. And boy, the term MS4, I have not heard that in a couple of years. I remember when Mayor Nelson was here, and that was a topic that we discussed virtually every couple of weeks. So
I think it was replaced with a 4-letter word instead, COVID. So
well, maybe that's true, but thank you. And I'm glad that this will help us to achieve that goal. So thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Friedel.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrea and Allison. A couple of questions as well. After the sticker shock and getting told that it was really quite a bargain. Yeah, I believe that, but curiosity I have, and we all pray for rain, and other than the year we had 30 inches of rain several years ago, I don't recall seeing our storm drains flowing well. So it'd be neat to use this, but do we have any idea what kind of cubic feet of volume or water flow we can anticipate this collection vault collecting?
Yes, if I can answer that. So the size of the structure could be as large as 19 acre feet. So if you want to imagine 1 football field is 1 acre foot, 1 football field a foot deep. So essentially, 1 football field 19 feet deep. So that's a lot of water. The way it's currently proposed, that has the potential to recharge up to 400 acre feet a year. But additional analysis will be used to confirm that, because there was some initial geotechnical investigations to assess the infiltration potential at the site.
Do we have any idea in peak flow what Big Dalton Creek, what the wash is flowing at?
Yes, it should be, that one is, I would say several hundred, 300 CFS easily would go through there. And the amount we would divert is about, I believe it's 50 CFSs in the design to divert into the underground structure.
Okay, and then in the time when the structure is not getting water, it's sitting there dry, how do we keep it clean or keep out the foreign objects? And when the water does get washed in there, having 2 storm drains in front of my house and living at International Mud Flood Central for a while, I understand volume of water and what goes down through the storm drains. How do we get all that stuff out?
So right now the diversion structure, so what we'll install is a graded inlet, similar to like a graded catch basin, but it will be at the bottom of the channel. There will be an actuated valve, so that what happens is it's normally closed until we open up for during a storm operation to bring water in. There will be, so there's a trash rack from the graded catch basin at the beginning. There is the actuated valve, and then there's what's called a pre-treatment unit. It's a large manhole that takes water into the system, settles it, and captures most of the trash. Roughly about 90% of the pollutants are caught there. That's how most of it will be handled. And then by the time it gets to the underground structure, you'll have clearer flows that have settled into the chamber. We are including in the design of the underground structure a baffle, so that any additional sediments that do get past the treatment systems and the screens will be settled into a chamber, so that with a manhole on top, so that you can get in there with a Vector truck to clean that out. And then for the pre-treatment unit, it would be a Vector truck as well. And that will be designed so that you're typical Vector truck can get in there. It's about 20, no more than 26 feet deep, so that they can get in there with a hose to clean it out. So a similar project's been built, or several, in Lakewood. There's 2 there. There's one that was completed in Bellflower as well. So there's several around the area that have been completed with very similar principles as what we're proposing here.
And I might guess the clean out's right under Pitcher's Mound. Oh, that sounds good. Okay.
No, actually, it'll be closer to the channel.
Yeah. Okay.
Otherwise, it'll be 2 feet taller, maybe.
Will the reclaimed water be pumped out for irrigation, or how do we get that out? Or is it
yeah,
a
actually,
percolation system?
It's a percolation system, but we will also analyze the park irrigation demand as part of the design to see if we can put in a treatment plant that can use the water for spray irrigation. And so that would be, we've had some installed at these other parks and would be certified or approved by the LA County Public Health for use of stormwater, which has been, which would be evaluated as like recycled water. So
Very
there's a
good.
possibility as well.
Okay. And then last question, you mentioned turf. Is that actual growing turf or artificial turf?
It will be grass turf for the baseball fields.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
No real questions. We've been talking about this project for a long time. One of the things, David, there will be a variety of projects up and down the wash in different cities that'll be similar to this, that will all be capturing water. But I do want to make sure you put on the calendar, when we break ground on this, make sure Judy gets an invitation. Okay, so that's it. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. And as I mentioned before, it's great to finally see this moving forward and see it being a possibility. So I will entertain a motion.
I move recommendations 1 through 5.
Thank you.
I'll
That is
second that.
that is a motion by Councilmember Alawas and the second by Councilmember Friedendahl. Councilmember Friedendahl, did you?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, perfect. If we can vote, I'll do a roll call. Councilmember Alawas?
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson?
Yes.
Councilmember Friedendahl?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Boyer?
Yes.
And Mayor Davis?
Yes.
That passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Right, that takes us to item 13, approve agreements with Innovative Interfaces Incorporated to cloud host the library central software system and for a 5-year license agreement, an amount not to exceed $155,000. And to discuss that tonight, Director of Information Technology Systems, Mr. Robbins, welcome.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council. The item before you tonight is a contract with Innovative Interfaces Incorporated, otherwise known as Polaris, which is much easier to say. Before I get into what the item is, I want to first preface the conversation with how we are modernizing our current IT environment. Most software implementations that we have for the city is on-prem. On-prem or on-premises means that we host the software implementation. And this always encompasses the hardware, the data, the software, all the patch management, the database management, upgrades to the software, remediation, security, and troubleshooting, and so on. As you might imagine, when you multiply these tasks by several implementations, it can be rather resource heavy. As we look over the next 5 years, the need to adapt to technology and create a modern infrastructure is at the forefront of our strategic plan. Now, I know you've all heard of the cloud, and while I wish there was some magical proof in the sky, the cloud in its simplest definition is just somebody else's computer. Cloud implementations often come with a premium, but just a small fraction of the hardware remediation and maintenance costs associated with on-prem implementations. Most companies offer cloud hosting solutions, and as contracts are up for renewal, you will definitely see more of these items come across the dais. The contract with Innovative before you tonight is a renewal that has been in place for the past 20 years, with the only difference being the migration to the cloud. The library uses Polaris as their main software package, and it facilitates everything from acquisitions, cataloging, patron services, circulation, utilities, e-library, inventory, public computer reservations. In addition to the 5-year main contract, this comes with a $7,000 annual fee and a one-time $2,000 migration cost. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Boyer,
No questions, thanks.
Councilmember Friedendahl,
No questions. Thank you.
Councilmember Alawas,
Did you say 8:49 we were going to be out of here tonight? Is that what your
think
guess
so.
was? 8:49?
I think
And you're the
8:49
last
no,
guy.
8:45 was mine.
Should I continue on to get you there?
No, you can end it whenever you want.
I'm good. No questions.
Councilmember Thompson.
And I'm good too. Thank you.
All right, very good. Well, then I will entertain a motion.
I move items 1 through 3.
Second.
Thank you. That is a motion by Councilmember Alawas, a second by Councilmember Thompson. Are you able to vote? There we go. Sorry, if we can vote, I'll take a roll call. Councilmember Alawas,
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson,
Yes.
Councilmember Friedendahl,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Boyer,
Yes.
and Mayor Davis.
Yes,
And that passes 5-0. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you, Sam. All right, that takes us to member staff items. Anyone have any closing comments?
No, thank you.
Mr. Raymond, Mr. Winder, any staff out there? All right, seeing none, we are adjourned